Hey, what's up, everybody? You know who this is. This is AJ Copeland, and this is Topics to Go. I want to talk to you today about something that I feel that is very important, and it is suicide. Um, as we already know, we have lost two individuals. One at CNN, and one was a designer. These two persons were very wealthy individuals and had, so you may think, or I may think, had everything that they wanted and everything that they need. So why would they want to take their lives? You might be thinking in your mind, because they had everything. I think the misconception that a lot of people have is that if you got stuff, if you got a whole lot of stuff, then you shouldn't, your life should be wonderfully great, and that you shouldn't have any issues or concerns or any problems because you have a lot of stuff. Well, today I want to talk to you on how important or how unimportant stuff is when it comes to individuals that suffer with suicide, or the thoughts or the emotions of suicide. And I can speak on this topic because I too have experienced that as well. And so I understand how individuals feel. It's like it's a pain that's within, that you have no control over at times. But before I get there, let me tell you a story, a true story, I might add, of a friend that I knew some years ago that was very young. This person was about 20 years old, and I, they was trying to reach out to me a couple of weeks prior to them being found hanging in a closet in the apartment in which they lived. And the way the way the story goes is that we had a conversation over the telephone, and they wanted to see me, and I was unavailable at the time, or they thought I lived in the same area that I had lived in the past, and I had moved. So, and this person was at work, and it was just the situation at that time was, it just wasn't, nothing was fitting. Conflict of schedules, and location, and where this person lived and where I lived, and so it created a lot of issues as far as us trying to meet. And I didn't know, you I didn't pick up any signs of any trouble, or any signs of depression or anything when I had had the conversation with them over the telephone. And then there were other days when we would just communicate by text message. But I noticed that they was more animate about seeing me than ever before, and I really couldn't understand it. And I tried to see how we could fit our schedules, where we can, so I can meet with them and find out, what was really going on. And so when I finally, we finally got together, and we finally talked again. They told me, well, just I'm at work now, and just contact me, and we'll talk more about, when and where we can meet, and so on and so on. So, knowing that in the past, our past communications, and how things went, there were times when we'll communicate, go weeks, and sometimes maybe a month or two in between before me and this person will communicate. And we finally, got back in touch with each other, and by text again. And so I was supposed to call them. Um, I think the next week or whatever, but I didn't get a chance to call them until 2 weeks later. And so let me make this story short. So 2 weeks later, I finally got a call them, and I believe it called the person, and I believe it was on a Monday when I called, and I called him on a Monday. And when I called, um, his brother picked up the phone and asked me who I was, and Well, in fact, they didn't ask who I was. Let me correct that. In fact, they told me who I was. And I don't know if they saw my name pop up on the phone or whatever the case may be, but they told me who I was, which kind of threw me off because I knew it wasn't my friend over the telephone, but this person that answered the phone knew who I was, and I asked who they were, and they told me that they were his brother. And then they gave me the really bad news. They told me that they had just buried him an hour before I called. I I was shocked. I was thrown. I thought this cannot be real. I just spoke with them 2 weeks prior. I don't understand. I didn't get it. I didn't understand. So I was so shocked. I didn't really get a chance to ask what happened because I was just so shocked and thrown by the ideal of this person is gone. Beautiful individual, very kind, very sweet, very loving, beautiful individual. And I I just felt lost at that time. And so I hung up the phone. I showed I showed my condolence and my compassion, and I got off the phone, and I just started, all kind of thoughts start running through my head, and what happened, what went on, what went wrong. And so about a week later, I run into a friend that knew him as well. And that's when I found out that they found him hanging in the closet in which he lived. And it was seen as a suicide. In other words, they said that he had committed suicide. And from that time forward, I have made it my business, if all possible, to communicate with individuals that I know that struggle in ways of emotions, in ways of suicide, in ways of depression, in ways of feeling less than a person, because I myself have experienced those very same things. Now, a lot of us don't understand suicide. We think that it's just somebody looking for attention. Sometimes people think that people that think about taking their life is just basically looking for attention. That's not it at all. You're so far from the truth. Suicide can come in different ways. A person with a thought of suicide can come in many different ways, and it's like it's like you fill a barrel up. Let's say you got a bucket, you have a bucket in front of you, and you're pouring water into that bucket. And the bucket has a limit, tap off right at the top. But you just keep pouring. And the water just running over and running over and running over and running over. That's how a person feels on the inside. It's like they've been over flooded with all kind of circumstances and life situations, and just being hit from every corner, health, finance, relationships, job, money, just a lot of stuff, childhood issues that have never been dealt with, family issues that never been dealt with, just all that stuff. And they've been holding this stuff in, dealing with it on their own, day by day, dealing with it on their own. And this stuff grow and grow and grow and grow. And it grows and it grows until it becomes an entity all by itself. And it becomes a voice that speaks to this individual, that tells this individual that their life is not worth anything, and that there is no need for them to live or to survive any longer, that nothing else matters. No, the house doesn't matter, the children doesn't matter, the car doesn't matter, the job doesn't matter, the friends doesn't matter, nobody around them matters anymore because they don't matter. And it becomes pain. It becomes like somebody cutting you on the inside, and there's no cure. It's a chronic situation where you're being cut on the inside and there's no cure. And when you try to explain to someone else what's really going on in your life, they can't comprehend. It's like you're talking to the wall with no response in return, because they can't understand the pain that you're feeling on the inside and what you're going through. And so that's something else that's added on to what you're already dealing with, because you can't get anybody to understand what you're going through. And so now you feel like you're living your life all by yourself. You're in your room, you're in your house, you're in your bed, you're in your car, you're on your job. Everywhere you go, everything you do, you feel like you are alone and by yourself, and there is no one there. Even though there are people all around you, you cannot see them any longer, because all you see is a life that is not worth having. That's what suicide is about. And I'm not speaking from what I heard through the grapevine. I am speaking from personal experience of what suicidal thoughts are. Now, there are situations where people that are mentally ill, that have mental situations like chronic depression and bipolar and different things like that, that equates to suicidal thoughts, medicines that individuals may take, may add and cause a person to have suicidal thoughts. But even with all of that, at the end of the day, it all equates back to life, situations, and circumstances. Life, situation, and circumstances. And it doesn't always start from an adult. It starts from a child. Because there are so many children in this world that haven't had the best life from the beginning. From the day from their mother womb has been nothing more but trouble. And they've had trouble all their lives. And some of those very children are now adults, are now teenagers, are now young adults that have had trouble most of their life. That's all they ever known is trouble. All they ever known is disappointment. All they ever known is lies. All they ever known is deception. All they've ever experienced is molestation and rape. All they ever experienced is somebody taking something from them. Not giving them anything, but taking. They've always had somebody to take, but never give. That's the kind of things that individuals have gone through in their lives. And even those that have gone to the point of wealth and prosperity have also had those moments of being a child that may have been abused as a child, that may have been robbed of something as a child, that may have been someone came along and took something from them as a child, but they got past that, so everybody thought. But they held it in. All of that stuff, they held it in. All of those experiences, they held it in. Failure in their marriage, failure in their relationship, failure in their job, failure. That's all they see. Even though everybody on the outside sees something totally different, that's not what a person sees when they suffer with suicide. They don't see what you see. They don't understand what you understand. They can't comprehend what you can comprehend. Their reality is not your reality. Your reality is, oh, look how wonderful and beautiful their life is. Look how things are looking good up. Oh, look how attractive that person is. Oh, look how sexy that person is. Oh, look how much money they have. Oh, look what the car they drive. Or look at the clothes they have on. You see, none of that stuff on the surface can fix you up on the inside. You can be rich on the outside and naked on the inside. And when you're naked on the inside, nothing else matters. What's going on around you, what you got on your back, how cute you are, how fine you are, how much money you got, what car you drive, what job you have. It doesn't matter, because you're naked on the inside. There is no joy. There is no happiness. There is no peace. There is no understanding of love. There is no desire to live and to endure and to overcome because of these challenges that you have emotionally and mentally within your mind. And the solutions for that, the solutions for all of this that I just mentioned, is those that are on the outside understand that it's not you, has nothing and absolutely nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with what's going on the inside of that individual's life. but there's a reason why it's going on. It's just not something they thought up and made up. Oh, today I'm going to kill myself. It's not something you think and make up. It's a combination of things that have happened in an individual's life, and they have created these various characters that speaks to them and tell them that their life is not worthy. And they hear these voices that tells them that their life is not worthy. So when you come across someone that speaks suicide, don't take it lightly. And I don't care what age they are, don't take it lightly. And the only thing you can do is continue to show love and support. Continue to show love and support and make yourself available at every chance and every opportunity that you get. If you can endure and if you can withstand all the things that goes on with someone that suffer with depression, bipolar, and suicidal thoughts, you would understand that it is something more bigger than you, more important than you. Because just as you value your life, you should value your brother, your sister, your neighbor, your friend, and even your enemy's life. I am AJ Copeland. This is Topics to Go. And during your free time, always catch a topic or two. Later.